Have you ever thought that sickness, especially in old age, is not simply a curse, but a hidden teacher? Most people recoil from illness. We fear it, we fight it, we resist it. We often see it as an enemy standing in the way of happiness. But what if illness is not an intruder, but a messenger? What if, in the weakness of the body, the deepest wisdom of life is whispering to us? The Buddha himself reminded us again and again that sickness is inevitable. No matter how strong, beautiful, or youthful we once were, the body bends toward frailty. Yet in this bending, there is an invitation to see clearly, to soften, to awaken. In this video, we will explore how to embrace sickness in old age through the Dharma. By the end of our journey together, you will see illness not only as a challenge, but also as a teacher of impermanence, a revealer of truth, and a doorway to compassion and freedom. We will move step by step. First, we will understand sickness as a lesson in impermanence. Then, we will see how illness can help us let go of the illusion of control. We will look at patience and compassion and how illness can open the heart. Finally, we will explore how to use sickness itself as a practice, a meditation that guides us toward peace. Stay with me and let us walk gently into this exploration together. 1. Impermanence. Sickness is a mirror reflecting the truth of impermanence. All things arise, endure for a time, and pass away. This is not a belief, but a law of nature. When we are young and healthy, impermanence feels distant, almost theoretical. The body moves with energy, and we can mistake vitality for permanence. But in old age, sickness makes impermanence visible in every breath. The Dharma teaches us that resistance to impermanence is suffering. We cling to health, to youth, to the way things used to be. When illness comes, we might ask, why me? Or why now? But the deeper question is, why not me? Why not now? For the truth is that all bodies must change. When we recognize sickness as impermanence in action, something softens. The fear lessens. We begin to see that this body is like a guest house. Temporary visitors come and go. Pain comes, weakness comes, but they also change, shift, and pass. Instead of despairing, we can turn sickness into contemplation. Each symptom, each limitation, is an invitation to see the transient nature of all things. The pain in the body becomes like a bell ringing, reminding us, do not cling, do not resist. All is impermanent. In this way, sickness becomes not just a condition to endure, but a profound lesson. We no longer hide from impermanence, we bow to it, and in bowing, we discover a strange freedom. 2. Letting go of control. For most of our lives, we hold tightly to the idea that we are in control. We plan, we schedule, we manage, and we believe that through effort we can command our bodies to obey. Illness in old age gently but firmly shows us otherwise. When sickness arrives, even simple acts, standing, walking, eating, may no longer obey our will. The mind wants the body to be strong, but the body follows its own path. At first, this loss of control can feel like defeat, but within the Dharma, it is actually liberation. Why? Because the idea that we were ever truly in control was always an illusion. The heart beats, the lungs breathe, the cells repair, not because we command them, but because conditions support them. From birth until now, the body has never been ours to govern fully. Sickness simply makes this truth undeniable. When we release the burden of control, suffering lightens. We stop fighting what cannot be held. We begin to rest in acceptance. Acceptance does not mean passivity. It means seeing reality clearly and meeting it with peace. In old age, letting go of control allows us to flow like water around rocks. We cannot move the mountain, but we can learn to move with it. Instead of saying, "This should not be happening," we whisper, "This too belongs." Through illness, the Dharma gently guides us to surrender, not in despair, but in trust. Trust in the natural rhythm of life, and trust that awareness itself remains untouched, even as the body changes. 3. The teacher of patience. Illness in old age slows us down. The body no longer responds as it once did. Walking becomes slower. Eating may take longer. Sleep may be light or restless. At first, this can feel frustrating. We may remember how quickly we once climbed stairs or how easily we once digested food, and we wonder why those days are gone. But here lies one of the hidden gifts of sickness. It becomes a teacher of patience. Patience in Buddhism is not merely waiting. It is the deep willingness to be fully present with what is, without irritation, without grasping, without pushing it away. Sickness asks us, can you sit with discomfort without anger? Can you breathe with pain without despair? Can you accept slowness without resistance? These are not small questions. They go to the heart of practice. When the body aches, impatience can arise quickly. I want this pain to stop. I want my body to return to how it was. But impatience only doubles suffering. There is the pain of the body, and then there is the pain of the mind struggling against reality. The second pain, the pain of resistance, is often greater than the first. Patience dissolves this second pain. When we meet illness with patience, the mind softens. We say to ourselves, this is how the body feels right now. It is not permanent. It is not a punishment. It is simply nature unfolding. The Buddha often described patience as a form of strength. It is not passive endurance. It is active openness. Imagine a tree standing through all seasons, in storms, in snow, in blazing heat. The tree does not resist each change. It simply stands, rooted in the earth, allowing all conditions to pass over it. So too, patience allows us to stand rooted in awareness while sickness moves through us. In old age, illness can stretch time. A night of pain may feel endless. A day of fatigue may seem heavy. Yet in this stretching lies a chance to deepen our patience. Each moment becomes practice. One breath, one step, one sip of water. We learn to live gently, slowly, attentively. Over time, patience transforms suffering into a doorway. We begin to see that even in pain, peace is possible, not by erasing the pain, but by meeting it with patience. In this way, illness becomes not only a limitation, but also a profound training ground for the heart. 4. Compassion for self and others. As sickness humbles the body, it also softens the heart. When we are young and strong, it is easy to feel independent, even invincible. But illness in old age strips away pride and reminds us of our fragility. In this fragility, compassion naturally arises. First, compassion for ourselves. Too often, we treat ourselves harshly. When illness comes, we may blame ourselves. Why did I not take better care of my health? Why can't I push through this weakness? But self-blame only deepens suffering. The Dharma invites us instead to hold ourselves gently, like a mother holding a crying child. Self-compassion does not mean indulging in self-pity. It means recognizing our own pain with kindness. It means saying inwardly, "This is hard. This body is suffering. May I meet it with tenderness." When we learn to comfort ourselves in this way, the heart relaxes. Instead of fighting the illness, we cradle it with care. And as we soften toward ourselves, something beautiful happens. Compassion extends outward to others. When we feel our own frailty, we suddenly see the frailty of all beings. We realize that everyone suffers, everyone struggles with their body at some point in life. Illness erases the illusion that we are separate. Think of how many people right now, at this very moment, are lying in hospital beds or sitting at home in pain or grieving the loss of health. When we recognize our shared vulnerability, compassion grows like a great river, flowing beyond the boundaries of me and mine. This compassion transforms sickness into connection. Instead of feeling isolated in our suffering, we realize, I am not alone. This pain is part of the human experience. Others walk this path too. Compassion also awakens gratitude. When someone offers us a hand, prepares a meal, or simply sits by our side in silence, we see the gift of human kindness. And when we ourselves are able, even in sickness, to offer a smile, a kind word, or gentle presence to another, we discover that compassion flows both ways, giving and receiving like breath itself. Through compassion, sickness in old age becomes not a closing of the heart, but an opening. We learn to treat our own suffering with tenderness, and through that tenderness we recognize the universal suffering of all beings. In this recognition, illness becomes not just personal, it becomes a doorway to deep connection, kindness, and love. 5. The preciousness of the present moment. Illness, especially in old age, is a constant reminder that life is fragile. When we are healthy, we often move quickly, always looking ahead, always chasing after the next task, the next desire, the next plan. We take tomorrow for granted. We assume we will always have more time. But when sickness arises, tomorrow is no longer certain. Even the next hour may feel uncertain. In this vulnerability, the present moment shines more brightly than ever before. The Dharma teaches that mindfulness, the deep awareness of the present moment, is the path to liberation. Illness gives us the opportunity to practice this directly. When the body is weak, life becomes smaller in scope, but deeper in meaning. Simple acts become sacred. Consider a sip of warm tea. In youth we might drink quickly, barely tasting it. But in sickness, when energy is low, one sip can feel like medicine. If we pay attention, we notice the warmth moving through the throat, the fragrance, the quiet comfort it brings. Suddenly, tea is not just tea, it is a gift. The same is true for the sound of birds outside the window, or the touch of sunlight on the skin, or the kindness in someone's voice. Illness narrows the world, but sharpens our awareness of what remains. And what remains is often profoundly beautiful. The Buddha once said, "Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. but concentrate the mind on the present moment. Sickness makes this teaching immediate. We may no longer be able to chase after ambitions or hold on to the past. What we truly have is now, this breath, this heartbeat, this moment of awareness. By cherishing the present, we also reduce suffering. Instead of lamenting what is lost, youth, strength, ability, we focus on what is here. The body may be fragile, but awareness is still present. The heart can still feel gratitude. The mind can still awaken. Living in the present also frees us from fear. Fear often comes from projecting into the future. What if my sickness worsens? What if I lose all independence? What if death is near? These thoughts multiply suffering. But when we anchor in the present, we see that right now, in this very breath, we are alive. This moment is bearable. This moment is enough. In fact, illness teaches us the preciousness of even the smallest moment. Imagine holding a delicate flower that may fade tomorrow. You hold it gently. You savor its beauty. You treasure it. Illness teaches us to treat life in this way. By embracing the present, we transform sickness into gratitude. Instead of focusing on what the body cannot do, we celebrate what it still can. We learn to live each day not as a burden, but as a rare opportunity. And in this presence, we find joy even in the midst of weakness. Illness, then, is not only a reminder of impermanence, it is also a reminder of the miracle of the present moment. And when we live deeply in the present, sickness becomes not an obstacle to peace, but a path to peace itself. 6. The non-self of the body. The Dharma teaches the principle of anatta, non-self. This is one of the most profound and liberating truths of Buddhism, and illness in old age gives us a direct way to understand it. We often say, "my body," as if the body were truly ours. But what happens when we look closely? The body is made of elements: earth, water, fire, and air. The solidity of bones, the fluid of blood, the warmth of metabolism, the breath of oxygen. None of these belong to us. They arise from nature, and they return to nature. In youth, we may feel that the body obeys us, but in sickness, this illusion dissolves. We cannot order the body to heal, nor can we prevent its decline. Illness makes clear what has always been true. The body is not self. This is not meant to be depressing. In fact, it is deeply freeing. If the body is not self, then its sickness is not my sickness. It is simply the natural process of elements shifting, changing, and dissolving. Pain arises, pain passes. Weakness arises, weakness passes. These are conditions, not identity. When we cling to the body as me and mine, every illness feels like an assault on who we are. But when we see the body as non-self, illness is just part of nature unfolding. We no longer take it personally. We can say, "This is the body's condition." Awareness remains. The Buddha gave the example of a cart made of parts, wheels, axles, and wood. Take away the parts, and there is no cart, only pieces. In the same way, the body is a collection of parts, processes, and conditions. It is not a fixed self, it is a flowing event. Illness brings this teaching home. When the body is strong, we might imagine, "This is me."
But when sickness weakens us, we see the truth. The body is temporary, fragile, and not who we are at the deepest level. This realization does not make us indifferent. On the contrary, it brings peace. If I am not the body, then its decline does not destroy me. Awareness, the knowing, the observing, the spacious presence, remains untouched. Illness may cloud the body, but awareness is like the sky, vast and open, beyond harm. This insight also reduces fear of death. Death is simply the final dissolution of the body's elements. If the body was never truly me, then death is not the end of me. Awareness, the witness, continues beyond the form. So illness, far from being only suffering, becomes a doorway into wisdom. It reveals the truth of non-self directly. And when we live from this truth, even pain can be met with equanimity. We may say, the body is sick, but the heart is free. 7. Using illness as practice. Illness, especially in the later years of life, can feel like an unwelcome visitor that takes away freedom and joy. But for those walking the Dharma path, sickness is not only an obstacle, it is also a profound opportunity for practice. It becomes a living monastery, a teacher that follows us into every breath, every movement, every quiet hour. The Buddha taught that suffering can either harden the heart or awaken it. The difference lies in how we meet it. When we resist illness, we add suffering to suffering. But when we turn toward it with awareness, illness becomes part of the path itself. How do we do this? The first step is mindfulness. When pain arises, instead of saying, "This should not be here," we can observe gently. Here is pain. It feels burning, or heavy, or sharp. By naming it in awareness, we create space between the sensation and the mind. The body may hurt, but awareness remains untouched, vast and clear. The second step is investigation. Illness allows us to observe impermanence directly. A wave of pain may come, last for a few minutes, and then ease. Fatigue may grow heavier in the afternoon, then lighten after rest. Symptoms change constantly. If we watch closely, we see that even suffering has no fixed self. It is always shifting. The third step is compassion. In moments of sickness, we can silently repeat, "This body is suffering. May I hold it with kindness. May I be gentle." Then, as our heart softens, we extend the same wish outward. May all beings who suffer today be free from pain. May they be at peace. Illness becomes a bridge of empathy, connecting us to the universal struggle of life. The fourth step is patience. Old age and illness slow everything down. A simple act like getting out of bed may require great effort. Instead of frustration, this can be an invitation. Can I move slowly, mindfully, without anger? Can I allow each task to be a meditation in itself? Sickness trains us in patience not through books, but through direct experience. The fifth step is surrender. Illness reminds us again and again that control is limited. No matter how hard we try, the body follows its own laws. When we accept this, not with despair, but with trust, we enter a deep peace. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means aligning with reality. It means saying, "This too belongs. I do not need to fight it." Finally, illness prepares us for the greatest letting go, death itself. If we can meet the discomforts of sickness with awareness, if we can face pain with compassion, if we can surrender to weakness without fear, then we are already training for the moment of death. Illness becomes rehearsal for the ultimate transition. This is why in Buddhism, sickness is called one of the great messengers. It tells us, awaken now. Do not wait for tomorrow. The body is fragile, but the heart can be strong. Each symptom is not just a burden, it is also a bell of mindfulness, ringing us back to what is real and unchanging. So let illness be your practice. Let every ache become a reminder to breathe deeply. Let every limitation become an invitation to rest in awareness. Let every moment of weakness teach you compassion. In this way, sickness itself becomes the path to awakening, and when the body finally fades, the heart will already be free. As we come to the end of this reflection, let us remember, illness in old age is not only a burden, it is also a teacher, a mirror, and a guide. Through it, we learn impermanence. We practice patience. We discover compassion. We realize that the body is not self. And most of all, we see that even in weakness, the heart can rest in awareness, free and unshaken. If you are living with illness now, know this: you are not alone. Millions walk this path with you. May you treat yourself with gentleness. May you breathe with patience. And may you discover the peace that illness itself can point toward. If you are not yet ill, do not turn away from these teachings. Contemplate them now, so that when sickness comes, as it will for all of us, you will be ready to meet it with calm and courage. If these words have brought you comfort, I invite you to stay connected by exploring more teachings here. May we continue to walk this path of wisdom together. May you be well, may you be free, and may all beings everywhere awaken to peace.